KJ Costello has announced that he is transferring. He's leaving Stanford University and going to Mississippi State. And I am so dang excited about this for so many reasons. I cannot wait to watch KJ Costello and what happens with him at Mississippi State. A couple weeks ago, like maybe a while ago, like maybe, was it months, was it weeks? I can't remember. But a while back, whenever KJ Costello entered the transfer portal, I remember looking at my dad and going, weird. KJ Costello's leaving Stanford. I remember telling my dad, that's just bizarre. Now, by the way, he did get his degree, so good for him. KJ Costello has gotten a degree from Stanford. Now he's going to leave and go play football somewhere. I can't imagine a better setup for any guy. You have a degree from Stanford and you're going to play college football and probably succeed. That's awesome. And by the way, for anybody who doesn't understand, I think Mississippi State fans know who he is. I think that Stanford people clearly know who he is. KJ Costello is not just some backup quarterback who's leaving a program and transferring. A lot of times you'll hear like the guy transferring is a guy who never got playing time and is going to try to play somewhere. No. KJ Costello has been the guy for the last 3 years at Stanford. He's been the face of the program. I've met people at the Pac-12 Network. He's on their shows all the time. I've been to Pac-12 Network. They have pictures with him, and they're like, hey, they really are proud of KJ Costello. It's a big deal that he's leaving. Northern California in general is like, oh, one of our star quarterbacks is now gone. It's very interesting to me. And, the guy played in 29 games. He threw 49 touchdowns in the course of those 29 games. And it's pretty clear to me, KJ Costello is leaving to go get a better opportunity. His journey at Stanford has run its course. He got his degree, which is amazing. To get a degree from Stanford, you're really well set for the rest of your life. And it's so cool. I'm happy for him because Stanford has really been struggling. Stanford, as a football program, has been having a hard time, and it's really not the quarterback's fault. They've been struggling with recruiting. Their offensive lines have been bad. Now, as a football nerd and as a quarterback analyst, I'm beyond excited about this move. Because KJ Costello played for the last 3 years in a more pro-style offense. Stanford runs the ball a lot. They use play action. They fake the run a lot. He's been under center, which means he's like, he'll take a 5-step drop. He's not in the shotgun, which means he's literally underneath the center, getting the ball directly from the center rather than catching a shotgun snap. So from an NFL perspective, we've seen KJ Costello run a more old school style offense, running the ball heavily, play action, 5-step drops, 7-step drops. But now he's going to Mississippi State. Oh boy, he's going to go play for Mike Leach in the air raid offense. He's going to throw the ball 60 times a game. We get to see KJ Costello in a totally new environment. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be so much fun. I think it's going to work. And what I think is really going to be cool is, so this guy, KJ Costello, has an NFL skill set. He does. He's leaving Stanford. He's going to Mississippi State. It's cool because he's going to get a new challenge. But, he left a bad team behind. He took a risk. And now he's going to the SEC. He's going to play around with better talent. And he's going to play against better talent in the SEC. But what's interesting is a lot of times you hear people talk about former Mike Leach quarterbacks. KJ Costello is entering into a Mike Leach system. And usually when quarterbacks go from Mike Leach and then go to the NFL, everyone says, well, they're only good because of their system. They're only good because of the coach they played for. No one's going to be able to make that argument about KJ Costello. Nobody will be able to say that. Because the truth is, he succeeded at Stanford. And then if he succeeds at Washington State, bam. That's end of argument. And here's what's cool. KJ Costello's, he has a pro career ahead of him to some capacity. He's going to play professional football. The question is, what kind of trajectory will his career have? Is he going to be an XFL quarterback? Is he going to be a Canadian Football League quarterback? No, probably not. He's better than that, I think. Is he going to be an NFL backup? Is he going to be an NFL franchise quarterback? It's all up in the air. He's got an opportunity, though, to prove to the world, hey, here's what I can do. I can play in multiple systems, and you give me good players around me, I can win a lot. KJ Costello has an opportunity to make a bigger case for himself in the NFL and prove just how great of a quarterback he is. And again, unlike most Mike Leach quarterbacks, no one's going to be able to say Anthony Gordon, Luke Falk, Gardner Minshew. Whenever guys come, even Patrick Mahomes was in the air raid offense at Texas Tech. People say, well, and look, I'm guilty of it because usually it's valid. You say, well, look, the guy is good because he threw the ball 60 times a game. Not good, but the guy has good stats because he threw the ball 60 times a game. He's thrown for over 5,000 yards, but his team didn't run the ball at all, so they're just eating up yards. You're not going to be able to make an argument like that with KJ Costello when KJ Costello leaves Mississippi State and goes to the NFL because, again, you'll be able to say, hey, it's not fair criticism because he succeeded at Stanford. And by the way, I've been talking a lot about how Stanford runs this old school, under center, more traditional offense. The truth, though, is that at Stanford, they actually opened things up a lot with KJ Costello. The offensive line was really having a hard time. They weren't able to be the dominating running force they wanted to be. And they realized, hey, we have KJ Costello. This guy can throw the ball really well. So they actually opened up their offense a lot more at Stanford because they realized what they had. But go watch the film, man. I'm so excited. KJ Costello, he's really great against zone defense. Yeah, I was watching the Northwestern game last night, and Northwestern was sitting back in a lot of cover 4. They're just giving away the flats, which means that they're just allowing KJ Costello to take short yardage underneath all day. And he was doing it. He was eating them alive. And then at one point, finally, he's just waiting, picking them apart short. A 5-yard pass, 6-yard pass, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. Waiting. And then eventually, Northwestern slipped up. They allowed a guy to get open vertically. KJ Costello threw a touchdown. Like, things like that are really cool because KJ Costello is patient. And that's exactly what you need to be in a Mike Leach offense. Man, I'm so excited. He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's got a strong enough arm. He's very accurate. He can beat man coverage if you play man coverage against him. He is accurate enough. And, man, I just cannot wait to watch KJ Costello at Mississippi. It's going to be so much fun. He's going to go, I think he's going to elevate himself from an unknown, not very talked about potential NFL quarterback. He's going to put up big numbers for sure. But people are going to go look at the tape and go, okay, this guy can play. This guy's not only succeeded with Mike Leach, he also succeeded at Stanford. And he's a good leader. They built around him. I think this is a great move for not only Mississippi State. Mississippi State fans are so happy today. They're like, we got a quarterback! Yes! But for KJ Costello, it's an unusual risk to go from a place where you're the star. Everybody loves you. You're the man. Most people don't leave that situation. KJ Costello. I talked about this the other day when I talked about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Don't settle for good. Go get great. And KJ Costello was in a good enough situation at Stanford, and he said, no, I'm going to go get great. I'm going to go to Mississippi State. I'm going to throw the ball 60 times a game. I'm going to show the world what I can do against SEC opponents with better receivers around me and a more entertaining, exciting offense. Guys, I am so stinking excited to go watch KJ Costello at Mississippi State. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be so much fun.